Welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick, Mr. Andrew Guitros.
Good morning.
Let's get a couple of sponsors right away, because we
handled that as well.
We handled a couple last time.
How about Dixie Storage? All your storage needs. That's commercial and personal storage. 3 locations with Port Barre, Opelousas, and Washington for just the general storage type things that you need if you want to get in with nice, well-secured, good concrete to not even get your feet dirty. Your stuff is safe, nice new buildings with good roofs on them, so you don't have to worry about anything getting wet inside. You can get climate control units from them as well. They also have other warehouses that they can do all your business. If you're looking for a big warehouse space, they'll do inventory control for you, access to a railroad spur as well. Their Dixie One Trucking will move your loads around or inventory around for you to finish delivering them for you. They've also got their sister company, A+ Glass, with locations in Lafayette and here in Opelousas that will do your auto windshields. They'll do your home glass and your commercial glass work as well. Dixie Storage.
Yes, and one more.
LHC Group, all your home health care needs. LHC Group can help you with everything from the nurses to the therapists to the doctors that have to go to your home. They can help you with all the equipment. That's the oxygen type equipment, the lift chairs, the special beds, the button you press to call for help. They can do all that type of work for you with locations throughout the entire United States. Health and Wellness Center here in Opelousas as well, where you can go play tennis on those brand new tennis courts. They also offer hospice care, palliative care as well. Louisiana Healthcare Group, all about helping people.
Something that shook up quite a number of us in the area, and of course outside of our Acadiana area also, was the death of blues musician Roscoe Chenier. He was only 71 years old. However, he had been suffering with diabetes, and at the end had lost both legs to being diabetic. And but that never took the fun out of him, never took the ability out of him. He was still doing gigs, as we referred to it.
And we'd always say, Roscoe is back.
Back. And we have talked about Roscoe here, you and I, for the 11 years we've been on here, and I was talking about it even before that when I had only the Bobby Dupre Show on the radio. And we would talk that about this time of the year he'd go over to Europe and he'd make his run, and he had a great, wonderful following throughout Europe. And of course in Acadiana and Louisiana he was just a strong, strong musician. Probably never quite got his due, and part of it because he never looked for it. He only looked to see what he could do to help others, and so many times, including your, what was it, your 40th birthday?
My 31st birthday, show you how many years ago it's been.
Oh, Lordy. And was held in my outdoor kitchen, and that was a fun,
big
fun
Halloween
night.
party. We ended up dressing him as Don King before the night was over.
Yeah,
he had the wig and the rings. And
I
the
was
whole
Don
9 yards.
King early on, and then I gave him these fake big rings that like Don wore, and the red vest and the hairdo, and I imagine somewhere in the house in his collection of goodies,
artifacts.
It possibly still there. I might add that as far as the services, do you see anything on your computer? Are they saying anything yet?
I had not seen, no. I haven't seen the actual services.
The body, Williams Funeral Home is handling the arrangements, and I'm not sure as to if there's going to be a visitation at Williams Funeral Home or just at the church, but the services will be held 11 a.m. on Friday, so you can watch it. Hopefully you can find it'll come out in the news in the next day or so. I want to compliment Herman Fuselier for he died on Thursday morning, and Friday morning there was a nice big article both in the Advertiser and the Daily World, very complimentary article, and rightfully so.
I did find out where he was born.
You did?
Notleyville.
Notleyville. I had said that area. Yeah. I don't know why, but I kind of remembered. He just was I call him a man's man, and when I say that, I don't know how y'all take it, but I mean that's the top of the top. He just always, I called him on a number of occasions when we used to have the Brown lunch.
Around the courthouse square?
Around the courthouse square. And on 2, 3, 4 times, the band that was supposed to be playing for us would cancel out at the last minute, maybe around 10 or 10:30. I'd call Roscoe, and he would get his guys together. And I said, you know, Roscoe, there's hardly any money now. You know that because you play there. He said, Mr. Bobby, don't worry about me. If you'll raise any money, give it to the boys. I mean, that was the same thing he told me every time.
The LA Times did a review of one of his albums, and the guy that wrote the review just talked about, you know, the great history of great blues guitarists that have come out of Louisiana. And he'd never heard of Roscoe before, and Roscoe at this point was probably in his 50s to 60s, and he just said, it's unreal that this guy has been hidden away for this many years. A guy in LA could, I mean, see it right away, you know, just
so
talented man.
To Mrs. Chenier and the family, we lost a good friend, all of us. Y'all lost a husband and a father, and relatives are going to lose their cousin. But I certainly have lost a close, and I have an honor. I was asked to read the obituary at his service.
The eulogy, you mean?
The eulogy, I'm sorry. The eulogy on Friday at the services.
Wow.
So I think that's quite an honor. For me it is, anyhow.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And hopefully everybody else feels the same.
We had another death that untimely that we just found the information about as well. Our good friend Charles Longyon from here in Opelousas, married to Barbara, passed away. He's had a lot of health issues and passed away untimely on Mardi Gras Day. Charles attended a retreat with us for years and years and years. Jeff Vizanat's the guy that actually got him to originally go. And up until literally Thursday, I went with you to Mamou, and someone called me and said, Charles Longyon told me to call you about going to retreat. So just a very active guy. Sad to see him passing away. The funeral will be a very short funeral on Friday at LaFawn's funeral home from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Just a 2-hour service there with the pastor, Father Paul from Our Lady of Mercy, because Charles was very active at Our Lady of Mercy as well.
Our sympathies.
Right.
Okay, we want to show just a few, yeah, why don't we show a few pictures? We have a lot of pictures today.
How about some more pictures you were hanging up?
Yeah, and that is one that I had bought at Uncle Earl's Pea Patch Cafe and Antique store in downtown Winfield.
There you go.
And BOBBY002.
Got to have a good political sign.
Well, you have to have it. In fact, Sheriff Eddie, we in your parish, Swallow, we're in Evangeline Parish. I'd like to, if somebody would bring me a sign, I'd be proud to show you, hang yours up on that wall also.
And we got the group here. You went to pick up a refrigerator in Mamou.
And Debbie wrote all the names down, and I can't find them. But to you guys, thanks a lot. The refrigerator's still working good. It was a used one. They cleaned it up just like they said they would. And the people in the Mamou area, y'all recognize everybody in there. The guy in the red shirt is the owner of the facility, the store there.
There you go.
And this is, I spoke about Angela Fontenot Hall, the tax preparer that operates in the same building that OPAC Financial Services operates in. And she is helping a young client of hers from Pine Prairie, Louisiana. He's an installer of garage doors, both commercial and on residential.
Mm-hmm. And her niece got in. We were helping them with their network over there with the computers, getting all set up.
All set up. And this is a picture taken at Java Square. And this is Miss Jennifer.
Here in Opelousas.
Tiffany, I'm sorry, Miss Tiffany Thibodeau. She's with Riceland Realty out of Eunice, Louisiana. And the tall gentleman there is Mr. Glenn Ross. And Glenn just recently, as I understood it, moved back to Opelousas. He says, I think you know my dad. And I said, well, the only thing is you're about 6 inches taller than your dad, and your dad's a big man. And we're talking about Charles Ross, educator, and of course a member of the school board for years. And this is a picture at the Crawfish Barn, which is located outside of Mamou on the way to Vidrine. And this young lady is a college student and did a beautiful, beautiful job and misplaced her name.
There's the crawfish.
You know, but look at a crawfish, how
good.
beautiful.
Crawfish Barn, huh?
Crawfish Barn, you bet. Beautiful. And by the way, I understand that steaks are just as good as the crawfish, so it's worth a ride over there.
And this is
wear you some old shoes, because if it's raining,
the parking lot's a little muddy.
A little muddy, but nobody pays attention to that. The place was packed. You hear me? I mean, when I say packed, it was packed.
And this is DC's in Eunice.
DC's in Eunice, and that's Mr. Darren and Cobb and his beautiful young daughter, Miss Ashley Cobb, and she too is a college student at LSUE.
There you go.
And of course, after having lunch at DC's, went over to the Catholic Church in
St. Anthony in Eunice?
In Eunice, that's correct. And this is none other than our famous
Swamp and Roller.
Swamp and Roller, that's right. Mr. Todd Artigo. He and his family were attending Mass there. And I might add that the Swamp and Roll is not being produced at this immediate time.
But they're working on a place.
Oh, they have a place that pretty sure they're going to have it, but I'm not going to mention it until the contract is signed.
Very soon is what our producer Steve said.
It's going to give them a lot of room to put on. If they can get that place, they'll draw big crowds because they'll have a lot of dancing room.
It'll be an event.
That's correct.
And there you are, Father Brown?
Father Brown ran into Winn-Dixie for a minute. We always need one more thing when you're away from home. Sure. And who drives up but Father Brown, and he was going to do some shopping, and we had a good visit. He does a lot of substituting. He retired. He had some health issues, and he retired, but I think they stay busier.
Oh, yeah.
And you see what
Monsignor
the schedule.
Melançon. You run into Monsignor Metrejean, Father Leger. They all stay busy.
They stay busy, but Father Brown, take care of yourself. And by the way, I promised you a lunch, so you called me. I gave you a card, so give me a call.
And there's the wagon starting to head out. Run.
That was on Mardi Gras morning. It was a little bit lighter than usual, quite a bit lighter, but rainy. Fun. We're going to show you pictures later on.
Where you at here?
This is Monday morning, and it was raining. And this young man is Ray Mott. He's the owner of True Value store, and I mean, he has a complete. He's been in business, I want to say he told me 18 years.
Wow.
And has a very, very good selection. Isn't it wonderful? We talked about in Winfield, Nichols store over in Winfield has a large selection, and we have, of course, our own J.B. Sandoz here in Opelousas is a record setter there, 100 and maybe 35 years in business. But then we went over to the Citizens Bank, and the gentleman dressed up in the tie. That's about the only person in Mamou with a tie on that day, and he's the bank manager, and that's Kent Fontenot with Citizens Bank, and Bobby Dupre in the center, of course, and Eugene Manuel on the right. Eugene seems to be everywhere I go around Mamou. He happens to be there because he also has some coin-operated machines that he still takes care of, just like his daddy had a big business. His daddy being T. Ed Manuel, well-known gentleman, and close compadre of former Governor Edwin Edwards.
There you go. Well, we're going to take a 1-minute break, folks. We're going to see you for the second half of the show after 1 minute.